Timothée Chalamet has developed a skill which has allowed him to become one of the youngest Oscar-nominated actors, amass a net worth of over $50 million, and solidify himself as a cultural icon. And that skill is, well, acting, but also the skill of earning respect. It's the way he shares credit with those around him, the way he never criticizes people when he knows they're wrong, the way he always lets his achievements speak for themselves. That is why he is one of the most famous and liked humans on this planet. It seems to me that Timothée Chalamet understands what I like to call the rule of 1/6. I've found that if you're trying to become respected, about 1/6 of that is the stuff you do around the people who you want to respect you. And the other 5/6 is stuff you do when you're on your own. And doing that will lead to 5/6 of people liking you and respecting you. And that's because if you do everything right, there will still be people who won't respect you, and you just have to accept that. But you can get up to 5/6 of people liking you, which is pretty good. And the reason 5/6 of being respected is stuff you do when you're on your own is because being respected really comes down to being impressive and being impressed by people. I'll say that again. Being respected comes down to being impressive and being impressed by others. One of the reasons Timothée Chalamet is so respected is because of his achievements. He's one of the best actors I know. The truth is that if he wasn't such a good actor, people wouldn't respect him as much. So if you want to become respected, part of that is that you just have to work really hard at something. And it can just be a virtue like kindness, and people will be impressed by that. Or it can be an outward achievement, like going to the gym or something, or achieving success in your career. And being impressive is pretty useless if people don't know about it. So the second step to being impressive is that you have to tell people about it. But you don't want to do this in an arrogant way. Timothée Chalamet is a master of this. You can see in this clip, he does it very well.
I know the classiest thing would be to downplay the effort that went into this role and how much this means to me, but the truth is this was 5.5 years of my life. I poured everything I had into playing this incomparable artist, Mr. Bob Dylan, a true American hero, and it was the honor of a lifetime playing him.
What he does here is he lets the achievement speak for itself. Whatever award he got nominated for or won is enough. People are going to be impressed by that on its own. And this is something I've noticed in my own life as well. One time I came first in my state in the 100-meter sprint finals. And someone at school found out because I posted it on Instagram, and they're like, hey, you came first. Congratulations, that's so good. And I was like, oh yeah, there was no one really good there. All the good people weren't there, but it is still pretty good, thank you. And they were like, oh wow, he's so humble as well. He said that to his friend. And so he was impressed by my actual achievement, but he was also impressed by my quality of humbleness. Now, Timothée Chalamet is better at this than I am because I downplayed my achievement there to show that I was humble. But what I could have done is kept the achievement where it was, but added extra kind of challenge to the achievement. So the achievement, really good, but it was a challenge to get there. So in that clip there, he acknowledged the challenge of achieving this award that he'd won. It wasn't easy. And that helps us connect with him a bit better. He's not some mystical figure who's somehow got this award that we could never dream of getting. No, he put in the work for it, just like we put in the work to get what we achieve. And that shows dedication, it shows ambition, it shows all these qualities which we are just as impressed with as the award itself. And that is why Timothée Chalamet is such an impressive person. He does all this impressive stuff and then he actually lets people know about it, but he lets the achievement speak for itself. And that makes a lot of people respect him a lot. But that's only one piece of the puzzle, because we also have to be impressed by people. You can be as high up as you want in terms of achievement, but if you're fighting with the people around you, they're not going to respect you. If you're above people, you need to pull them up. If you're below people, you should push them up. And you do that by avoiding conflict, by hearing people out, and by showing that you're impressed by people. All those three things, by the way, you can only do if you are genuinely impressed by people. And those three things you do through mindset and habit. So the mindset is just genuinely being impressed by people. And the habit speaks for itself. You can just make a habit out of doing those things. So how does avoiding conflict help you be respected? It's not like you need to be one of those people that actually just avoids conflict. and, agrees with everything people say. You don't need to agree with people. You just need to put their argument on the same level as yours and then disagree with them. Don't put your argument above them and disagree with them. That's where you lose respect. Or if you only agree with them, you also lose respect. Timothy does it masterfully in this example here.
Do you use the
VR?
the Vision?
Oculus, that kind of thing?
No, well, Oculus too, I guess, but the AirPod Vision.
What do you mean,
whatever.
like blue?
You see, in this case, he knew more than Theo Von, right? But did he say, oh, no, that's incorrect? No, he said, yes, you actually have a point here. Because we're not in conflict here. Like, we're trying to get to a solution. We're not trying to argue. So even though you are slightly more right, maybe he actually had a valid point. You want to acknowledge that. When you do that, you get the other person on your side, and then they can come to the realization that, okay, you were right. And that leads to you actually getting to a resolution of the disagreement. And on top of that, they will respect you for it because you haven't attacked them. You haven't put your argument and your perspective above theirs. And obviously you can do this by just making a habit of not attacking people, but you can also just have a mindset where you are impressed by people. You think that they know a lot of stuff that you can learn from. And when you do that, whenever they say something that disagrees with you, you're gonna go, okay, maybe they're right. Let's think about how they could be right. You also got to hear people out. So if there's something you disagree with or you don't think sounds right, don't just dismiss their view. Timothy Chalamet does this very well once again.
Okay.
I think you have to have crime to have good food. That's kind of how I feel.
That's I've never heard that MO.
Really?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh,
You ever-
You see, if Timothy didn't have the mindset where he was impressed by people and he thought that they knew stuff that he didn't, he would have dismissed that view as stupid and below him. And when you dismiss a view, you're dismissing the other person. And people don't want to feel dismissed, and they're not going to respect people who dismiss them. Finally, you have to show that you're impressed by people. So what do I mean by that? Let's watch this clip.
that, like, you did the movie with the young man with drug addiction with Steve Carell's son.
Oh yeah, Beautiful Boy. Yeah,
Which was awesome, man.
Yeah, I know you struggle.
I thank you for that.
Yeah, I know you struggle with that a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And so many people have, and it's like,
So Timothy here could have focused on himself because Theo Von was pointing the topic towards him. It was a movie that he had done, and so he could have gone, oh yeah, thank you, I really enjoyed that role, or I did really well in that role, or maybe even just one of the actors was really good in that role, one of the other actors. But no, he turned it towards the other person because he knew that this person who he was talking to had a connection to that topic. Specifically, Theo Von had overcome addiction himself. That's impressive. And so he showed that he was impressed by that. Because he's just probably a person who's genuinely impressed by other people and sees the value in them, he's not focused on himself and what he did. He makes the connection to other people's achievements and he celebrates them. And celebrating other people will give you more respect than celebrating yourself. Especially if you have the achievements there which speak for themselves, like I was talking about earlier. And the way you become impressed by people and you see the value that they bring is by habit, doing those three things I just mentioned, just by habit, and also by mindset. And how do you develop that mindset? There's two parts to this. There's during conversations and after conversations. During conversations, what I try to remember is that acknowledging and complimenting other people's successes doesn't take away from your own. And also, other people might know more than you in a certain area. And that helps if you believe the other one, because if people know more than you in a certain area, but other people's successes don't take away from your own, then that doesn't make you worse as a person or anything if other people are just really smart, because there's no comparison going on. So the more you stop competing with other people and view your success separately, the easier it is to believe in other people and to see the value that other people have and be impressed by other people. So that's a quick mindset shift that I've been working on. Now, after conversations, it's another time when you can be improving your mindset. So after most social events, I journal. And for this mindset in particular, I would be writing down stuff that I was impressed by or stuff that they might have known more than me about. So if I just had a conversation with someone and they taught me all this cool stuff about like roller skating, because they did roller skating, for example, it's obvious that they know more about roller skating. So I'm not going to write that, but I might write down something else. So maybe another topic we were talking about. Maybe upon retrospect, when I think about this, I go, oh, okay, they actually, you know what, they had a good point here. They probably know a lot about that, maybe more than me. And that helps you realize that other people actually know quite a lot. And then you don't dismiss their views so easily. And then you might also write down something you were impressed by. So you might just write down how impressed you were by their roller skating knowledge and ability. And then if you talk to people, you're going to get better then at recognizing the impressive stuff. And then you show more respect to people, which means they'll show more respect to you. So you can see that pretty much all the stuff you're doing there is stuff that you're doing on your own. You're changing your mindset. You're changing the person that you are to become more worthy of respect, rather than just acting in a way that you think will get you more respect. Although you can obviously make some improvements by just making a habit out of doing the things I said, and that will give you more respect. But this is something that's worth putting effort into. As you can see in Timothée Chalamet's case, being respected has made him so much more liked and has made his career so much more successful. So if you think that being more respected is something you want to work on, you can use that as motivation. So I hope this helped, and have a great day.